In lieu of that, would you say that it will be in order for the government to sign what exactly it is ASUU is asking for?
If there was an agreement, agreement means addendum. If I say A when you were in the toilet to B, and you come out and say what, you will say A because that was what we agreed. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. When we, with consensus addendum, we are on the same page. There is no misrepresentation of facts, such that I was believing something, thinking that something is that way. While you are, and there should not be deceit. There should be no deceit. Government is being taken on the ground that some people are seeing how ministers or people in government have been cutting away money. It is very, very infuriating to know that somebody had access to 10 billion naira national money. You understand? Money belonging to every Nigerian. One man took it, the one that he was caught. You know, a thief may have been doing it for more than 40 days. You caught him in 1 hour. So he will just be insisting that the one he took, he never took anything. Okay, I can release this one. What about the one he stole before? So the issue is that Nigerians are annoyed. They are annoyed seeing on daily basis how people are just given a slap on the wrist after they have made a way. And you know, it's not easy to retrieve money, meat that have been swallowed. You know,
Dr. Naji, what we're trying to do is find a way out of this logjam because the ASUU, they say they're paying the price. Government is also tired. It's not good for its image. The students in particular are bearing the brunt of this particular fight. Parents too.
The image of the country.
You know, so everybody seems to be paying a price at some level or the other. What would you say will be the way out of this logjam?
The way out is Okupe should not be the one flaunting letter written from Central Bank to Accountant General. What is the difficulty in putting down a letter to ASUU? With reference to what we agreed, so and so amount have been dumped in so and so account. Formal letter, 2 lines, 1 sentence, if you like. You understand what I mean? Instead of coming to the TV, are they trying to whip up public opinion? We want solution to the problem. Both of them have come short of the glory of Nigerians, and therefore there should be no reason of justification or positioning. You understand? ASUU should also understand that government is a leviathan. It can use the 6 inches hammer, even when the public opinion is against it. But also government should know that power speaks most eloquently when it is exercised with humility. That is why when a child misbehaves, you don't give him a knock, because that can send him to be a dwarf if you did that with your strength. But if you brought that child closer and say, that is not good, those people around you will respect you, because they know that you could have behaved otherwise. But people are eulogizing Mandela, Mandela, Mandela. What is the significance of these eulogies on Mandela? That he saw the other option and he chose the one that eventually became a better option, because South Africa would have been in continuous turmoil, more than what they have now, if he chose retribution.
But I'm looking at the copy of the letter that was shown yesterday. Well, though not signed by Okupe, but signed by the deputy governor of the Central Bank,
exactly.
in charge of operations.
I saw it on your channel when they were flaunting the thing.
Tunde Lemo, and it was also dated yesterday, meaning it was made same yesterday to show evidence. They call it confirmation of the execution of your mandates for the credit of account number and the account with some other digits blocked there. Revitalization of universities infrastructure account, and we can actually see how the deposits were made in 3 installments, mandate 1, 2, and 3. And well, I'm hoping that they should be also able to show us that
of
visual.
What relevance is it to Nigerians?
Because we asked, and Dr. Fage also said, well, as soon as they get this, I'm hoping that they too should have been given a copy of this by now. If the media already have it, then that's just a letter with a deposit. I'm hoping that this should have been called off. You know,
now. Ordinarily, if the ASUU wants to be heard, there's no difficulty in somebody writing a letter and putting the deputy governor. Is it not when you call in the police to check whether there was fraud or forgery? You understand? That is not. Put a letter straight to ASUU. Do you get the point?
From the government.
From government or those negotiating party or whatever. That as part of the effort to resolve this logjam, and as part of the demand you made, this has been done. Would you kindly, therefore, you understand what I mean? In the spirit of reconciliation, ASUU will take the hint that public opinion will weigh much against it. And once public opinion weighs against it, the government can now use the sledgehammer, and there will be nothing about impunity.
There are three other conditions, though, on that particular agreement.
Yeah, when you have other conditions and you have met one,
yes,
you are in the process of meeting the other, there is no unlikelihood that you may not meet the... I am not subscribing to the view that if you had once been a thief, you will always be a thief. It is not true. You understand? Circumstances change. And people, there's no way, a good dancer must change dance steps when he moves from disco to reggae. They are not the same dance steps.
Mr. Naji, the ASUU has consistently said their fight is not necessarily for now. They are looking at 6 years from now, 5 years from now. Those that have not even entered the tertiary institutions. They said that's their fight. Are they justified?
It is a good thing to look ahead. S.C. Catherine says, I'm interested in tomorrow because that's where I want to live. The fact remains that ASUU also should also look inwards. To look inwards, even in the university, they are talking about infrastructure. Yes, everybody believes and knows that infrastructure is very important. What about the human element? You understand? Infrastructure alone does not make the university. In fact, the university is for knowledge. All those infrastructure are simply to support the flourishing of knowledge. But the knowledge is imparted from one person to another. When you have somebody who lacks content, you understand? That's why some lecturers don't have the respect of some students. You see where they just tout them. So a lecturer, in my presence, used the word, they call it paradigm shift. But he called it paradigm. Paradigm. And he's a PhD holder. I don't know whether he may not have studied English, but I can tell you that the less emphasis on English and mathematics has affected scholarship. Because what vehicle are you going to use to communicate whatever you think you have inside you? And when you are unable to communicate, if you want to do a test case, go and meet a stammerer. When he fails to communicate, he goes fisticuff. He tries to gesticulate, you are not understanding, he gets frustrated. The next thing is to somehow fight. So when you are good in the vehicle of communication, whether if it is English, if it is Igbo, if it is Hausa, in that particular area, what is used to communicate, if you are good in it, you will be less aggressive because you can sit down here and articulate what you want to say in such a beautiful prose, you understand, and articulate it without being, threatening anybody. You can tell somebody, I feel disappointed in that conduct. Instead of saying, you are a very stupid man. I mean, this is flower of language. We lack it in this country. And we have subscribed ourselves to the level of those who have refused to go to school. That's why at every instance, everybody is in the street. So what's the difference between those who went to school to study and suffered? Because it is the duty of the prostitute to bring down the nice gentleman to her level. The same thing happens if you go to the market where people are not if you speak in English, they say, grammar, we are talking about money here. They want to bring you to their own level, the commodity they have, they can exchange. And it is your duty to stand taller than that level. We're not doing it in this country. We come to the National Assembly. There are some people who didn't go to school very well. They have subsumed those who went to school. When you want to talk, they say this is not the issue of grammar. How do you communicate? How do you make the laws if you don't know that grammar? But you like to drive Lexus? You want to own an airplane? It is people who have learned that grammar that made those things.
Well, we'll come back. Let's take a break now, Mr. Naji, and we'll return to look at this rot in the education sector and link it with this particular document that ASUU has said through its president that as soon as it's shown to them, they will call off the strike. I will return after now. Stay with us.